Thanks for joining us. That breaking news coming down late this afternoon. The state Supreme Court has overturned Wisconsin's Republican-drawn legislative maps. The High Court mandating that new boundaries be drawn as proposed by Democrats. Today's 4-3 ruling supports claims that the existing maps are unconstitutional for not being contiguous. A lawsuit filed against the maps was filed the day after Justice Janet Protasewicz officially joined the court in August, flipping control of the court to a liberal-leaning majority. The ruling also comes 1 month after the court heard oral arguments in this case. Democrats argued for having all 132 lawmakers stand for election under these new maps, including half of the state Senate who are midway through 4-year terms. The legislature argued that no new maps should be enacted any sooner than the 2026 election. The High Court intends to adopt new maps unless the Republican-led legislature and Governor Tony Evers agree on an alternative. The State Elections Commission has said maps must be in place by March 15th if the new districts are to be in play for the 2024 election.